fastest ways to take charge of your life, reclaim your power, and start to feel more control over the inner voice inside your head and situations that are going on around you. And this is not like a control and need to control from living in fear, but a recognizing of your own authority in situations and experiences. Okay, so I just also want to preface with, I am aware and know of the feeling of feeling like not in control of anything, not in control of my mind, my body, and the experiences that I was having around me, feeling hopeless, depressed. And I'm just going to share what's been the most empowering for me, what's been fast, what I've seen people transform their own lives, what may have taken years and years and years and years of therapy. The transformation can happen in 15 minutes. All right. And it's all about your choice. We also preface with that. This is a choice. We have free will and we can choose. So everything that you're getting, all the results you're getting in life right now is based upon choices that you make. Once we start making new choices, we start getting new changes. Inside you, there is a power that is greater than your human self. You can call it love, God, spirit, divine, source, universe, energy, whatever word works for you, use it. Connect with it. I love this quote. The feeling of love is the highest frequency you can emit. The greater the love you feel and emit, the greater the power you are harnessing. And that's inside of you. The highest frequency that you can emit is inside of you. So that's the first thing. I want you guys to get that. Love, God, divine source is within you, and it's a power that is greater than yourself. You can just call it your inner power. All right. Second step. Stop making you wrong. Stop making your life wrong. Stop making your experiences wrong. Stop making your feelings and your emotions wrong. That's the catch. That's what's getting you caught up. Instead, see it as a situation that has yet to be met by God or yet to be met by love. And because you have that inner power within you of love, God, source, you get to meet that situation, that experience with that frequency to dissolve the turmoil around it. And what happens is something else returns. Something greater is on the horizon and it's returning. Now, I will say too, the biggest step here is faith. So you may not see what's returning yet in this situation. You're like, well, all these bad things are happening to me. I'm having all of these experiences. How can I see the good in this? How can I see that something's returning? You don't have to. It's not up to you to see it. It's up to you to have faith in what's returning. So again, stop making what's happening to you wrong or what has happened to you wrong. That was my big one. I had made what was happening to me and what I had done in the past wrong. Even though I had changed my life, and I was still making my previous past choices wrong, and I have made what other people did to me wrong. And when you stop doing that, first of all, you stop giving that situation power, because you got to think about your power is actually getting drained to that situation when we're busy making it wrong and feeding it all of this energy and these thoughts around it. And so the moment that you stop making it wrong, you're actually reclaiming your own inner will, your power, your fire, your energy. And think of it as it has yet to be met by love. And when you bring your love to it, bring God, bring light to a situation, all turmoil dissolves and something else gets to return. I'm going to go into what else gets to return in a minute. So how to bring God or love to the situation? Well, I'm just going to give you really easy. Ask yourselves, what is the story that I'm telling myself around this situation? Or the story I'm telling myself is blank. Or what am I making up? What I'm making up about it is blank. And you'll find out what that language pattern is. And get this too, language is a code. Just like you can code in a computer, your language patterns are codes. So if you're telling the same language patterning, and this may be something that runs in your family, a code that runs in your family. If this is continuing to run, it's being coded into your system, your body, your mind, your emotional self. It's being coded into your system. And so when you ask yourselves, what's the story I'm telling myself? What am I making up about it? You get to spot the code and decode it. And that's by bringing love to it. When you're bringing love to it, you stop giving power to it. And then you ask yourselves, what's the story that I'm telling myself about it? Okay, and depending on what emotion is being ignited within you, whether that is shame, fear, anger, grief, pain, whatever is being ignited within you typically has the same kind of these universal thought patterns or word patterns around it. And I'm going to get into an example of this in just a moment. And I'm actually going to share an example of myself. But first, I'm going to show you guys this next part. What really can speed us up on this journey, if you're feeling stuck or out of control with your emotions, your feelings. So having this knowledge can be really supportive in moving forward in your life. And this is life-changing stuff. Don't take this lightly. This is life-changing stuff. If you've got a situation or experience that's been sucking the life out of you, either currently or something that's happened in the past, sucking the life out of you, it's because you're making it wrong. And you can even look here. This is a scale of emotions, and it's in order. So at the very bottom, in guilt and shame, lowest vibration, lowest frequency, and the words and thought patterns around it are I did something wrong, or I did something bad, or I am wrong, or I am bad. And when we're thinking that about certain situations, we're literally, go back over one more column, the tendency of an emotion, basically how it's expressed in a sense, for guilt and shame is punishment and silence. Have you been silencing yourself and punishing yourself based on the past, based on what you're making wrong? So that's so big to get out of in life, is nothing that happens to us is wrong. All right, and I'll go ahead and give my example. So my partner, Austin, this is something I've been aware of for several years now. I've been on my own journey of taking responsibility of my own life for even years before becoming aware of this. And doesn't mean that I stop feeling all of those things. Still experience everything on this scale. However, I'm more aware of there's a story around it. Let me identify a story around it. Bring love to it, which can look like forgiveness, authorship, action, but bring love to the situation so that what's returning can come through and come up. All right, so Austin and I are talking, and this is a pattern that I've had come up several times, and I've touched a little bit, and this was just like maybe a week ago. And we're talking, and it's something, especially when I'm sharing something that feels vulnerable or intimate, I can be more sensitive and tender, or vulnerable. I'm in a vulnerable space. So, so Austin he's doing other stuff, and he was kind of like, I could tell he was doing a little bit of stretching while I was talking, and doing some other movements. And I started getting into this, like, I feel angry, not just angry, like I'm getting livid, like he's doing something else while I'm talking. And I heard the pattern in there, you're not listening. So if you go look at the scale, find anger on the scale of emotions, pretty high up there. We've all experienced it. You know the frequency, the feeling. And what does it tend to do? It wants to blame, justify, defend. So I wanted to get into this big blame of Austin not listening to me. So then I identified what's the word and thought pattern. And it's funny because it was coming up and it wanted to come out. I literally wanted to say something like, well, you're doing this and you're not listening to me. And I would catch it as soon as it was about to come out. And I'd be like, oh gosh, it's anger. It's like a codependent pattern. And it is, guys, it's a codependent. To believe that anybody else can do anything to you it's just a pattern of codependence, which is life-taking rather than life-giving. And when we can feel empowered and not allow the actions and behaviors of others to affect us, then we don't lose our energy. We have our vitality and we feel more, literally feel more energized when we wake up throughout our day. So it was funny because it kept wanting to come through this like thought pattern of like, you're not listening. You're doing something else while I'm talking. You can't multitask and be listening to me fully. And the truth is, like, I don't need anyone to listen to me. We don't need anyone to listen to us. It's still that like justify and defend, to justify. I need someone to hear me. I need someone to hear what I have to say. So it's kind of funny because it was like, and I was still feeling anger. I'm not saying I wasn't feeling it. Like I was literally feeling anger. I got triggered. And then I knew what it was. And that's the other thing too, is like, this is how we become more powerful. It's not because we stop experiencing all these other emotions on the scale. It's that we become aware of what they are and their truth, and that something is returning. So for me, I know, okay, anger's coming up. So there's something's returning. It's either forgiveness, an action, or authorship. So what I was authoring, and we're always authoring something, guys. We are the author of our own lives, and we do it moment by moment with those language codes. So what I was authoring was that he's not listening to me. And as soon as I took ownership of that, as soon as I went into that, okay, what's returning here? Authorship, forgiveness, action. Okay, well, nothing was done to me. Austin was listening. He was listening. That was my own like insecure self going into he's not listening. And so the authorship was change the code. Literally author a different code where I am heard. It doesn't matter if it's Austin or anywhere else. That's been a pattern for me, not wanting to be heard or feeling not heard. And that can go way back. And many of us we can trace back these codes to childhood. I, with my own inner power, being aware of the power within me, the love within me, get to bring love to this situation, because guess what, y'all? Love is a greater frequency than anger. Love is a greater frequency than anger. So when we bring love to it, then I got to author something new. Rather than literally giving my power away to the situation, perseverating on it, becoming resentful, he's not listening to me. And so think just that little instance and story of where I get my life back. I get to more of my life back by becoming aware of the pattern, the code that was running. And I got to take action by authoring something different. As long as I hear me, that's all that matters. I hear me, and that's all that matters. And I hope you can find some like resonance or maybe a similar story where you've had this experience, and maybe you can have this little shift as well. Instead of making the situation wrong where someone did something to you and then you feel angry, that's just that's anger acting. It's the code, the program running. Think about like an application open on your phone. It's just a program running. So what's the story around it? What are you making up about it? Can you forgive? Is there something that you've been called to do and you're not doing? Whether that's a verbal expression to someone with love, or an actual physical action that you need to do. Also authorship, like it can be that easy, guys. You be aware of what you're currently authoring that's triggering the anger within you, and say, oh, I see that code patterning, that language patterning. Well, this is my new choice. We have that much power within us. You get to make a choice. And that's what's really, actually, anger is a blessing and a gift, because you get to bring love to it. And the frequency and the charge of anger, which is a big one, right? It comes with a lot of charge. That's how much life is coming back online for you. That's what's returning. So it's a freaking gift. And I can say from my own experience before that, like I did a lot of suppressing anger because I thought it wasn't okay to feel angry. So I just shoved it down and shoved it down. And you will start to experience physical symptoms when not allowing yourself to experience the emotion in its entirety. And I can really give examples of like each one of these emotions on the scale and how you can literally upgrade your life, reclaim your power by becoming aware and conscious of the story that you're making up around it. Yeah. So that's where I am today, and offering that. It's really big, powerful stuff, you guys. So becoming aware, stop making what's happening to you wrong. Instead, see it as it has yet to be met with love, and you get to meet it with love. By becoming aware of the patterning around it, creating new patterns, creating codes that serve your health, that serve your well-being. And the first step is connect with that power inside of you. I encourage you all, connect with that power inside of you. That is where you're going to get the most value. All right. I hope to hear from all of you what you received from this. How are you upgrading your life? I plan to give many more examples in the future. Just wanted to give like a brief rundown because it sounds simple, right? I'm going through it and it's, this was fairly brief, but this can change your life. Somebody that's gone a little bit deeper into this kind of work, I have heard say that they've used this work and transformed someone's life in one session that they've been seeking therapy for years. So this stuff works. You're here for a reason. Everything you experience is for a reason. And it's because something else is returning the moment that you bring your love to it.